Now, you also wrote this week about the International Criminal Court, which is hell-bent on accusing Israel and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu of war crimes. What will be the impact if this eventuates, if a war crimes case is brought against a democratically elected leader, and also in Israel, the key Middle East ally of America, Australia, Britain?
Yes, it's extremely serious. I mean, I very much hope that it doesn't go ahead, but I know that Prosecutor Khan at the ICC is trying to push for personal prosecutions against the Prime Minister Netanyahu, against the Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, and probably the head of the IDF. Of course, there are several things that are appalling about this. One is that this is being done without any fresh investigation and with no new evidence or anything like that. It's a political prosecution, attempted prosecution. The second thing is that this would be the first time that the ICC at The Hague would have come from a democratically elected leader. And I believe that that is an extraordinary step. There are some people trying to use The Hague to get Vladimir Putin. I mean, it's deeply symbolic. I mean, good luck getting him out of the Kremlin and into The Hague. But, Putin runs his country as an unelected dictator. He goes through a farce of elections every now and then. But to go for a democratically elected leader, and in a country with a citizen army, ahead of the army, would be extraordinarily unwise. And one reason it would be unwise is that I think that the ICC will once again destroy its own legitimacy. I'm not a big fan of the ICC. I don't think that Britain, Australia, America, I don't think we should be signatories to these things. I don't think that any foreign court should judge our elected leaders or our soldiers. That's for our military, that's for our governments, and indeed that's for the people. There are some people, particularly Republicans, who have in recent years started to think that the ICC is a useful tool. If the ICC brings this case against Netanyahu and others in Israel, it will be a very significant shot in the foot for that institution, because they will turn potential friends into enemies. So we'll see. It might be headed off this week. If it goes ahead, expect kerosene to be thrown over the fires that are burning, and sometimes literally, but that are burning in American college campuses and in Western cities. All of those malcontents and maniacs and others will think they have the best possible excuse to go and riot and shout and gibber and hound down Jews more than they have been already.
And it will set a dangerous precedent as well, I think. Douglas, before you go, you completed a documentary. I don't know where you find the time, but this is a really important issue that gets overlooked too often. It's America's drug crisis. And you say in the name of compassion and progressive politics, we're seeing a very permissive attitude to drug use with some devastating impacts.
North America now has the highest rate of opioid use of any region in the world.
You go to a spot like this, they give you a shot of fentanyl in the morning, and you come in the night and they give you a shot of fentanyl at night. Fentanyl.
Fentanyl takes the life of an American every 5 minutes.
Immediately that she had been poisoned with fentanyl.
Fentanyl is now found in recreational drugs like cocaine and even weed. With hundreds of thousands of Americans dying every year, the question remains, how did we get here?
Douglas, how did we get here?
It's astonishing. I urge people to watch the documentary. It's just under half an hour long. It's an astonishing story, Rita. I mean, the fentanyl crisis has exacerbated the existing American drug crisis, but this is now leading to almost 110,000 overdose deaths a year in the US. And that by any normal routine should be regarded as being an epidemic that has to be cracked down on. The short answer is the ease of the drug supply and the lethality of the drug supply mainly in America, the culprits are Chinese-made synthetic opioids, which come through Mexico. And it's true that some of the Mexican cartels seem to be able to make these synthetic opioids themselves now as well. But it means that the drugs that are making their way onto the American market are infinitely stronger in their potency and their potential lethality than any drugs that have made their way onto the open market before. And you just see in city after city, I mean, I concentrated particularly on New York and Philadelphia. I could have done any number of cities in the US, sadly. You just see sites that, I mean, I've not seen outside of war zones. And, you know, I just, you know, I say it's not a partisan documentary. It's just a desire to say to Americans and others, just wake up. Don't think this is normal. It's not normal. It's not normal. You should be losing so many of your citizens to these horrific, addictive and potent drugs. So yes, I urge people to watch it, but it's pretty tough viewing.
It's tough viewing, but important. And I would urge people to have a look. You can see the full documentary on X and YouTube. Douglas Murray, thank you so much for your time this evening.
Great pleasure to see you as always, Rita. Thank you.